So Courtney will now do a brief outlook for fires.
So that's kind of the joke. It's always going to be the worst fire season ever, right? Either because of drought or because of the rain. So I'm just going to quickly go over what the outlook is for the summer. There's still a lot of unknowns, but obviously we have a few unknowns. So you may have noticed there's lots of grass out there. That was what the winter was good for. And so especially in the valley at the lower elevations and in the foothills, there's just a ton of grass everywhere. And you may have noticed recently it's really starting to dry out. We were down in Stockton yesterday, and the grass down there is already brown. And so it's already starting to cure up. Once they dry up around here and in the foothills, that's when we expect that activity to pick up. So those big grass fires that you see, that activity should pick up here shortly unless we get any more rain, but it doesn't look that way right now. The other factor is the deep snowpack. So we've talked about it. At those higher elevations where there's still snowpack left, it's going to take a while for those conditions to dry up. In some cases, there might be snow July, August, and so really we're not expecting much fire activity at those higher elevations heading into the summer. The tree mortality, that's a pretty well known. It is spreading further north, and they're starting to see some effects in the coastal range too. We were at Mendocino National Forest a couple weeks ago, and they're starting to deal with those issues over there too. So pretty much once those trees die, they're pretty much just like ignition for fires. We saw, I think it was the cedar fire down in Kern County last year, pretty much just had explosive fire behavior once it got started.
Can I make a point back with your mortality?
Yes.
Please. Those trees are dead. The drought's over, and we've got lots of water, lots of snow, but the trees will continue dying for up to 3 years. So we have not peaked out yet, because there are trees up there that look green that are actually on their way to being dead. So the process is still going to continue for several years.
Great point. So a few unknowns that we always deal with is lightning. Obviously, you all know we can't predict where, when. We can kind of hone down an area maybe the day of, but we can't know when a lightning's going to hit and start a fire. There's not really any good sign for how much monsoon activity we'll see this year. If you recall, last summer it was pretty quiet. We didn't have a whole lot of lightning. Sometimes El Nino summers can favor sort of a trough pattern over us, and that would lead to more lightning, but there's not really one signal or the other right now. Last one, human causes. We'll just leave it at that. Can't predict where someone's going to do something stupid. So these are the official large fire outlooks. As you can kind of see here, typically when we get into June, things start to ramp up. One thing to note, along the Sierra and some of the foothills down south, we've got below normal fire potential heading into June. As we get further into the summer, you see some reds starting to pop up in the valley, the coastal range, and parts of the Sierra. Things to note, if you looked at this July versus August, July is near normal, and then it's August when we expect maybe things to start ramping up. So it's going to take a while at those higher elevations for things to be primed. Already in Southern California, the fires are starting to pick up. If you follow Cal Fire and stuff on Twitter, you'll see they're tweeting about some large grass fires already. So stay tuned. This is probably going to be.
How would you put a definition on the term fire season? I mean, it's
year-round, really, technically, but I mean, for us, it's the summer into the late fall, especially around here.
It's basically when the snow's gone.
Yeah.
Right.
And the grasses are cured.
So until you start to get rain again in the fall and winter, but it can be year-round. Really.
Yeah, if you remember last year, we were fighting fires in January.
Traditionally, for our office, it was June 1st through like October when the rains came back. But this season's and the SoCal, it's just whatever. It's not raining.